Hi, I'm Grace, and you're watching Disney Channel. That's stupid. Hi, I'm Grace with Troll Games, and you must be here to learn about Castles and Crusades. Castles and Crusades is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game that uses a D20-based system. It was published in 2004 by Davis Chenault and Matt Golden, and it was designed to be rules light and adaptable, promoting an environment in which the only limit is our imagination. The core mechanic of Castles and Crusades is called the siege engine. In this system, if a player wishes to take an action and a chance of failure exists, the game master, or castle keeper, will call for the player to make an attribute check. The player attempting the attribute check will roll a d20 and add their character's level, as well as any bonuses or penalties that they may have to the result. The player will then tell their castle keeper the total, as well as whether their associated stat is primary or secondary for their character. If a stat is primary, the challenge base is 12. This means that in order to pass, the player's result must be greater than or equal to 12. The challenge base for a secondary stat is 18. This number can be altered by the castle keeper depending on how easy or difficult the attempted action may be. To quickly review, a challenge base is determined by whether an attribute is primary or secondary, which sets the base of 12 or 18 respectively. A challenge level is a modifier of difficulty determined by the castle keeper, usually within plus or minus 6 of the base. These two numbers combined make up the challenge class, which is the number that the player must meet or exceed in order to succeed in their action. For example, Nick is playing Grognar, a 3rd level human fighter. Fighters have strength as a primary stat, and Grognar's strength score of 15 earns him a +1 bonus to strength checks. Grognar is attempting to break down a locked door. The door is fairly thick, so the castle keeper calls for a strength check from Grognar. In this case, Nick will roll a d20 and add both Grognar's level and strength modifier. He rolled a 13, and adds 3 from his level and 1 from his strength modifier for a total of 17. The challenge base was 12, since strength is a primary stat for Grognar. The castle keeper also determined that since the door is particularly sturdy, an additional challenge level of 4 will be added to the base for a total challenge class of 16. Because Nick had a total result of 17, exceeding the determined challenge class of 16, Grognar successfully breaks down the thick wooden door. Unfortunately, Grognar doesn't have intelligence as a primary stat. Were he to have thought a little bit more about it, he would have realized that maybe the door was locked for good reason. As Grognar bursts into the room, he is met with the fearsome gaze of a dragon, who immediately unleashes his fiery breath on the reckless intruder. Grognar must now make a dexterity check to avoid being barbecued. Since dexterity is a secondary stat for Grognar, it'll be much more difficult, with a challenge base of 18. And because this is an ancient dragon, the challenge level is 34 as determined by the creature's entry in Monsters and Treasure, for a total challenge class of 52. Grognar is instantly incinerated. His dust is swept up, mailed home, and Nick must now roll up a new character. A life lesson to take to heart. In Castles and Crusades, life is cheap. While many systems allow you to embody the veritable fantasy superhero and save the day with lots of proficiencies and world-altering magic and outrageous feats of strength, Castles and Crusades scales the experience back a little bit. Your adventurer will truly start out at the bottom when they set out on their journey, and you'll have to play smart to ensure that they live to see the end. So, sorry, power gamers, but there's no way to break CNC. But fret not. While this system is built to avoid the rampant power creep that we see in other games, you'll be rewarded for teamwork and creativity every step of the way. From all of us here at Troll Games, may your castles be sturdy, your dice favorable, and always remember Rule 16, an ancient indecipherable tome in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Grace, and you're watching Disney Channel. That's stupid. Hi, I'm Grace with Troll Games. once spoken is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices the castle takes shape. Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape.
Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games, join the fray.
Are we live? Excellent. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Jeremy says, mute your stuff, Chuck. I don't know what that means.
Who knows?
Jeremy's always angry about something. But
Always.
hey, very, very cool today I got to use. So I don't know how many people have plunged into to Monsters and Treasures yet that we've sent out via PDF. But Jeremy created this swarm. So I guess it's a monster, but it's a swarm that acts as its own monster, which is really cool. So I was able to use that for the first time, I think, in TLG's history in an actual adventure I am writing at the moment. It's very cool. Exactly what the doctor ordered. I needed something kind of eerie, but not too monstrous-y. And the swarm worked perfectly.
Yeah, the swarm mechanics he built in the back of that book are just amazing. I used them. I've been using them.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah, I skimmed them when he sent them over, last year or whatever. Hadn't looked at them since, but I dove into it today, wrote the stat block, and dropped it in this adventure module that is unnamed at the moment. Whatever it's going to be called. The Truth Man or something like that. I'm not sure. I gotta write a nursery rhyme. How is everybody doing today? We are here for Asking Me Anything. I am Stephen Chenault, CEO of Trollord Games. And here to ask whatever questions you may have about Kickstarters we're doing, projects we're working on, industry news, whatever is going on out there. I've been kind of hunkered down. I'm up in Davis's abode as he is still on the road. He returns tomorrow, so I'll be back in my regular office in the next day or so, and Davis will be back on deck as well. But for now, I am up here keeping an eye on his little kingdom in the Ozarks. And that all requires Dr. Pepper. Oh, thank God. Man, Davis organizes books like I do. Yeah, it's a mess back here. I started to make him some bookshelves, but I just didn't want to get too much into his stuff and do a lot of work that he wouldn't like and would have to burn later on. So I have left the books heaped and piled in the corner. I have been moving around his property not secretly, but burning anything that I feel is burnable. So I've had quite a few large bonfires going on. So that's always a good thing. He won't miss it, and if he does, he'll be like, Steve was up here. He must have burned it. So
I know it. We got our first question from Varsuk down the Auto. Says, hey, Dan, how you doing, buddy? Says, what is expected regarding the CZ releases or new releases or et cetera?
So we're kind of in a holding pattern on that. Bill Edmonds is working on the maps. I talked to him briefly. What is today? Tuesday. I talked to him briefly like Thursday or Friday, and he was I'm like, it's either C6 or C7. I'm like 90% certain he told me C7. I think he's into C7. And if I recall, there's only like 2 maps in C7. So I'm hoping that the maps are done in the next day or so, 3 or 4 days, whatever. And Peter Bradley is hammering out the art. Now he was well underway, but he got stricken by some illness and is recovered now marginally. The trolls got hit by a small small plague. It knocked half the crew out, which is odd because we all work remotely. But I'm hoping in the next 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, I got to get with Peter and get a good handle on. I think he'd done 5. He needed to do 14. So whatever, 14 minus 5 is 9. So he's somewhere, and he's got 9 more to do. So I'm not sure, how much he's putting into these time-wise, and that I gotta get a handle on. But soon. The book is written. C0 is written. It's been edited. It's just waiting to get plugged in. And Jeremy has already updated all C1 through C7 for the new stuff, whatever. The reforged. So it's all really just kind of waiting for art and maps, which seems to be a continuous issue that we have going on around here. Yes, Jeremy, you've actually done it twice. You did it the first time, and then we made more changes, and then you went back and did it a second time. so they're sitting in the Troll Lord server. As I recall, I have not downloaded them yet. I don't remember anything I do. It's because I throw about 8 different things at you a day, but there you go. You'll get a chance to look it over one last time. It'll be much like Beneath the Canopy Green we published before. I will extract a little bit of stuff to kind of connect these adventures together that I've already written for that version that came out 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. Actually, longer than that. It's about 11 years ago. So that part shouldn't take too long. Really, it's maps and art. All right.
Let's see. Jeremy wants to know, how tall is that heap of books in the back corner of the room?
I would say the tallest is easily 5 feet. The middle stack there is 5 feet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's like 19 to 21 stacks. And that tall one there is about 5 feet. Not quite as tall as me, but it is up there. Some of it's war games. I can see Lord of the Rings. We've got one of the original Lord of the Rings board games that came out in the 80s, I guess, 70s, something like that has the hard board, which is really, really cool. In the early days, SBI and Avalon Hill actually didn't do paper maps. They did board maps, which was very, very, very nice. The 4-4 bottom books. Yes, it is never good to stack books like that. It's hard on the bindings. It's hard on the gluing. It's hard on all that stuff. It's just not a great. It's just not a great way to do it.
Yeah, I guess Alan says. I guess it's snowing over in the UK.
I heard you guys either already have them or are getting them. How's it going, Alan? By the way, record temperatures is supposed to be -8 Celsius or some craziness.
Oh, Lord.
I read that this morning. Yeah, we've got a small heat wave going on here. We were supposed to get cold temperatures, but I was out working on a gutter today, and it was just hotter than spit. So, yeah, we weren't. I haven't enjoyed any of the cold yet.
Let's see. Sundex Kid 007
Barsum knows what I'm talking about. You what?
Now, another question here. This is really for me. Sundance Kid's asking about Endless Worlds. It's come along great. I've been out sick with COVID for the 4th time in my life, and yeah, it's really messed me up. But I hope to get back on that horse again next week and get things pushed forward. I've got guys ready and everything. It's just I'm the hold up this time, being sick. But I'm coming back though. I'm getting stronger. I've got my onions and garlic.
Davis goes on his biannual. I got his back scratcher, by the way. This thing's great. Davis is on his biannual trip, and Zoe got ill, and Chuck got ill, and Peter got ill.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, right at about half of the crew wiped out for about 2 weeks. But it's all good. Everybody's on the mend. We've kept barreling along, so it's good. Way to go, Chuck.
Hey, I managed to work just about every single day. It wasn't, some days weren't as long as others, but by God, I was working.
You did get some work, but these things happen. It is what it is. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? I keep getting older. What the hell? It's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we need a lot of rain here too, Wolf Alone. We're getting bits and pieces of it, and what's irritating me is this reconfiguration of the gutter that I did on Davis's west side of his house. I need it to rain so I can really test it. So, so make sure I didn't leave any holes in it or leaking or whatever.
Will you see him tomorrow before you leave?
Yeah, I got to pick him up. So I'll be gone in the middle of the day. I got to go pick him up at the airport.
Well, have him do a rain dance or some shit. He probably has something like that. He's probably got a damn headdress. And
we were supposed to get gallons of rain and this cold wave starting today, starting to, and it is blue. It's blue as blue. We had a little bit of rain last night, and then at about midnight, I went outside, and you could see every star in the galaxy. So there you go. It is what it is. I could run a hose up there, Malaki, and that's really where I'm probably going to do in the morning before I go get Davis, because it's just a giant pain in the ass. Davis doesn't use a lot of water hoses, so I have to go find one. I'll get this spigot, and it's a whole thing. So, yeah. Davis has his own way of living up here. So any more questions that pop up? If not, I can do a quick rundown on the Kickstarter or talk about whatever else we got kind of floating. That's about it, Jeremy. I think he does carry it in his... I don't know what he does.
He carries water in his cupped hands. He is not wrong about that. That's funny.
It's like the wilderness up here. I will say this. He has removed all of the screen doors as superfluous to the house. So... And because it's been so warm, we've got flies everywhere, and every time I open the door, like 4 or 5 flies fly in the house. So I'm trying to get in and out of the house like James Bond or something, to roll in, and it's just I don't know.
If you'd had some extra time and didn't have to ride or anything, you imagine if you could put all those doors back. It would drive him insane. He'd been so crazy.
Drive him nuts. He really doesn't like screen doors, which is probably fine if you're in Maine or Canada or Montana. But Arkansas is a crawl with insects, and you need that extra protection when you open the one door, you're closing the other door. It kind of keeps them out.
Just some guy from Tennessee's got you a question
there. What is the question? I did not see it.
It says, so would you call a spell that increases agility can't trip? He'll be here all week. Try the wheel.
Yeah.
Just some guy in Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee. See, we're all funny, these guys in Tennessee. We're hilarious.
I thought you were in Virginia. You're in Virginia.
I live on a 2-state town. Bristol, just according to where you walk.
Yeah, you're spitting distance from Tennessee. I know that.
Someone posted something on my wife's Facebook feed the other day. She showed me, because like downtown on State Street, we've got these bricks, gold bricks in the ground, and one side says Virginia. Yeah. Well, if you go down toward the I guess it would be the eastern side of town, someone screwed the bricks up. Some of them say Tennessee on the wrong side. I've never noticed that in all these years. So
someone probably went and switched the bricks out.
Maybe, who knows?
My favorite switch town I've ever seen is Texarkana, down at the border between Texas and Arkansas. It sits astride both states. And when Texas got hit by that snowstorm last year, this picture was, or 2 years ago, this picture was floating around that showed Texas and just a disaster zone in Texas. And on the Arkansas side, the roads were all clean and swept. There's no ice or anything anywhere. And it was just saying, this is how a good state is run. And I'm thinking, someone's fabricated that picture, because I think we got about 3 snow plows in the entire state of Arkansas. We get a little bit of ice and snow. You just stay home for a couple of days till it melts off. So.
When I lived out in Seattle back in the 90s, they got that big snowstorm that hit the whole country like in late 96 or something like that. Dude, they didn't have but like 3 snowplows in the whole city, because everything was designed to reflect water, not weight. People's roofs were caving in. It was mass panic. I was out there driving around. They're like, "It's an inch. You're going to get killed." I'm like, really?
If that's the storm that hit us as well in 97, we lost power for 8 days, and we didn't have gas or propane. So we were in 10-degree weather for like 8 days or something like that. Rachel was newborn. She was like 1 year old, or give or take. And I remember my neighbor was like, she's in her 80s. I don't know. Miss Hughes, super nice lady. Well, after a day or so, I thought I better go check on Miss Hughes. This is pretty nasty out here. So I went up to her house, and she had blocked off her kitchen and little kind of den area and turned her gas stove on. Well, now I hadn't had any warmth for days. And when I walked into that little area, and it was like 78, 85 degrees. I sat and checked on Miss Hughes for about 2 hours. We sat there and just chatted, and I basked in the heat of someone vastly more intelligent than myself.
Oh, Tyler thinks I need to move closer to Missouri. And Tyler, if I do, I'll take you. He offered to buy me dinner at Lambert's once a week forever if I would move over that way. So,
Dude, have you eaten at Lambert's?
No, I know nothing. I just know the mythology that I see posted all the years.
Oh my God. Yeah, Lambert's is fantastic food, and the portions are unbelievably gigantic.
Right.
You could go to Lambert's, order dinner, eat whatever, you're full, and then probably have 2 more meals you could take home.
Nice.
In the bucket after that.
They throw rolls at you too, right? They come out there and just.
They do throw rolls at you, and the rolls are delicious. Lambert's is good. It's good stuff. Sison, Missouri.
All right, so let's see. Juan Cholo from YouTube asks, do you plan on converting all the old CNC Modules adventures to the new non-OGL rules?
I say that again. I was reading Alan's comment about snow causes the apocalypse in the United Kingdom. That's about Arkansas, Alan.
Juan Cholo over on YouTube asks, do you plan on converting all the old CNC Modules adventures to the new non-OGL rules?
Yes. And really all it takes is for one of us, and Jeremy's been the head on this, is to go in and make sure the names of the spells and the names of the monsters and the names of the magic items line up with what we've got. Most of it stays the same. So yeah, we are in the process of doing that. I think we just finished a U series. Those should be the new ones should be uploaded the next week or so. And I want to see Behemoth's, is it Behemoth? It's Behemoth's. Whatever, Rampage. That'll be next. I know I did a cover. BEHET, Rampage, Rage.
I have no idea what the hell that is. No.
It's an adventure Davis wrote at some point.
I didn't know we had more than one adventure called with a word rage in it. I guess that kind of goes along suit with green as well. Lots of rage and lots of green.
There's a lot of green and rage. Yeah, Jeremy's right. There's also some stat block changes we got to do. Disposition needs to be changed. Stuff like that. But yeah, we do intend to overhaul all of it.
Right. Awesome. Let's see. Omega Gamut asks.
Corrected, Malaki.
Do what? Oh.
I was saying it's good to be corrected, Malaki.
It is. My wife does it on an hourly basis. Omega Gamut asks, I recently saw the 1974 Warriors of Mars book that TSR got a cease and desist from printing. Is your new Barsum stuff endorsed by the state of Vigorize Bros? Hell no. No, I'll let Steven.
Yes, absolutely. We've signed a license and even paid for the license to do the Barsum stuff. We've got a 3-year contract on that, and you'll see the first of it coming out probably next month. The preview should be done. I know it's written. We've got the cover for it. It needs laid out, cleaned up, edited, whatnot. But yeah, we definitely have the blessings of the Burroughs people. We have a pretty strict policy around here. If it's still generating revenue for the family that owns it, that owned it, that created it, then we're not going to do it on our own, even if it falls into the open world. Now, Conan material I know is fixing to slip into the open world, and so is I think Cthulhu's already there. I think so. You may see some of that from us in the near future, but not at any point that they're still working. And the Burroughs folks are. Edgar S. Burroughs set up a great corporation that his great grandkids now I think are getting paid for his work, which is great.
Smart. He was very smart.
Yep.
Omega Gamut asks, when you update these modules, adventures, if we bought the PDF already, do we get the update? Well, if it's on the new store, yes.
Yeah, it's a whole issue with Equid and WooCommerce. We can't get them to play nice together, so that's a whole thing. But give us a shout as you see us update this stuff. Just give us a shout. We'll see.
Of course. Yeah, and the only thing I think, in fact, when we get the books, the Reforged hardback books up on the store, what I'll do is I'll just shut the old ones down and turn on the new ones. Because we always do those. Those are a little different with the hardback books anyway. We don't typically have to update the adventures much. This was sort of a special thing. So.
Right.
Let's see. Rick Montel.
I just said no shave November. No, I only use. It's not a straight razor. It's a single blade razor. My wife found them, made in America, single blade. and it shaves beautifully. So now all this crap that you buy at Walmart or your grocery store, the 3 blades of whatever, it's all crap now. And so I won't use it. So I forgot it coming up here. So I'm just going wild for the next day or so until I get back to my razor.
I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. I use the same razor I've had for years. I don't like that new stuff. Let's see. Rick Montel. Oh, good news. Convert all the old models, even the ones on PDF only. My vote is to bring them all back to print. Rick, over the next year, you will see a lot of stuff return to the new store.
A lot of it. There's a few things it won't, but a lot of it will. We're going to try to bring everything back.
Hey, Frank. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see.
I hear you're a wolf.
Oh. Let's see. Jace McLeod, Commander Jace McLeod from over on YouTube says, greetings. Has there been any changes to the new Reforged Players Handbook since the preview PDF sent out in July?
Yes, very little, tiny little things. And I couldn't tell you what. Some editing was done. We found some colons that were bold and orange that shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
There were some oddities like that. So the last PDF should have gone out. Did you send it out yet, Chuck? I know I sent it to you Friday. Did you send the PDF of the PHB out?
No.
Okay, so the next one should be it. Chuck's got it on his desk. As soon as he's got time, he'll send that, the CKG, and the M&T out, so you should have those sometime this week. They're set and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we have anything else to change on, so the ones I'll send out will be the final ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. All done. And I can tell you now, the CKG and the Players Handbook, they're printed. They're both printed, and they're both sitting on Walsworth dock ready to ship to us. I'm going to give them shipping instructions at some point in the morning when I kind of finalize numbers. But those books are printed and done and headed our way.
Very excited. MJ Cook 78 asks, would you, TLG, ever consider buying Frank Mincer's non-TSR published and non-published material?
Frank and I go way back. I would love to sit down with Frank and kind of go over what he's got there. I'd have to have hands on before I committed to that. A lot of that material from the old world is much like yours and mine. It's partially written. It's just concepts. It's just notes. And that type of stuff is just a whole, it's a world of work on our end. But if it was completed manuscripts, that might be a little bit different. I would want to kind of dig in and look at those. But I am not headed to Wisconsin in the near future. I need to reach out to Frank, talk to him a little bit about it.
Yeah. I think we're all caught up. So if you want to go through some updates, you can. I'm really curious about one of them anyway. I want to ask you about it. So.
All right. So let's start with the Hermit. The Hermit is proving to be something. So the Hermit's printed, ready to go. The leather's printed, ready to go. The Cant book, it's laid out, ready to get printed. It'll probably get printed next week, and that'll be printed in-house, so it'll be ready to go. And I think there's a grimoire in there that's right behind it. So all of that stuff's sculled, doing really well. Screens, I paid the final shipping bill today, so they're on a truck headed our way. We should have them by Friday. That just leaves us the slipcase on the Hermit, and that's what's holding us up. And the company that we are using keeps putting me off. This is the third week since they put me off. And they promise on Monday the mock-up will be shipped. So hopefully that's squared up, and we're able to start shipping the Hermit in the next week or so. As soon as I get that mock-up, I can say yes. And then they'll get that thing in the mail, print it, bind them, print them. I think we're having 1,000 of them done or something. Yeah. So that's the Hermit. Reforged is printed, and the PHB, the CKG is printed. The M&T will be done either today or tomorrow or Thursday. It'll be done and ready to ship. And they're going to get down to us. Chuck's working on the backer kit on that. Hopefully by Friday, Monday at the latest, we're putting the backer kit out so people can pay their shipping. This is going to be one that we do very, very rarely do we do this, but we're going to split shipping on that. And so you guys are going to pay one shipping bill, TLG, and we'll eat the rest. But we're going to ship the 3 cores first, and then we'll ship Beneath the Canopy Green and the screens. This is something else floating around in that Kickstarter. I can't remember what it is. 101.
The magazine.
No, yeah, the Crusader, but there's also like 101 adventure ideas or something.
Yeah, there's 2 of those. And then we got those cheat sheets, just stuff.
Just bits and pieces. And those bits and pieces will come in a second package so that everybody can get their books before Christmas and start playing them. And then we can also put those things up on the market and start selling them as well. Next up is
Let
Go
me
ahead.
ask you a question real quick. What's it look like now for Canopy? You think realistically, January, February?
So 4 weeks to print. Say 2 weeks. Yeah, probably realistically we'll ship that thing in January.
Okay.
That would be my guess. I would love to ship it before, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Art continues to be the problem. So Exaltum is up next. So Exaltum Infernum. Infernum is done. The art's mostly done. Few, maybe 20 pieces left on that. We hired an artist to do the art for Exaltum. He has started on that work, so that's very, very good. So those things are moving much more slowly than I wanted, but they are definitely moving forward. After that is Arms and Armor. What is today? Tuesday. So on Thursday, maybe, I think it's Thursday. Yes, definitely Thursday. So Thursday, Finn will be done editing the Monstrous Armory. All the weapons, all the pictures are in for that. So at that point, it's going to be, I'll go through the edits, kind of clean it up, whatever, accept, approve, whatever, and then kick it to layout. That book will get laid out by Peter, and then it's done. And those 3 books, we've got to put the final edits in the Armory book. War Mounts is ready, and then that thing's ready to go to the printers and gone. So I'm guessing in January a 2 will ship. And then that leaves us the GFW series. It's ready for editing. As soon as Finn is done with this adventure that I'm writing now, I'll be done with it tomorrow, Thursday. Finn will edit that, and then he'll go into the editing on the Canteen Crew, and then it'll go to layout. Work has already begun on the second cover by Jason. So it too it's on track for its March, I think it was a March, April release. So that one's on track. Very excited about that. So that's our quick Kickstarter rundown. If you have any questions, throw them out. Yeah, Jeremy, we got to check with Mel, see where we are on that. But any more questions, throw them here in the chat, and we'll see what we can do.
Commander Jason Lloyd has another one for you. He said, "Thank you for the last answer." Barzum, is that going to have its own Players Handbook, Monsters Treasure, etc., or is it a new line like Amazing Adventures, or how are we going to treat this?
So it'll be a complete new line. It'll tag into Amazing Adventures. So for all your kind of firearm rules and crap like that will be built upon those built in Amazing Adventures. But we will have a Player's Handbook that has the classes and races in it, and then we will have a GM's guide, a CK's guide that has all of the setting material in it, and then playability and all of that. We're going to port the Siege Engine rules directly from the CNC Players Handbook over so that the rules are exactly the same. And it will change the language a little bit to meet the Barsumian stuff. We haven't quite decided what we're going to do with the monsters. I think that they're going to be rolled in with the CK book. I don't know that in Barsum there are enough unique monsters to have its own 128-page hardcover book. So we're thinking of rolling the setting material and the monsters and the CK material all into one book. So it'll be a 2-book system, much like Amazing Adventures is at the moment. But you'll have monsters, monsters on deck. So yes, it'll be definitely its own line. I'm super excited about that. We are very happy to announce that for the preview, we have permission to use a Michael Whelan cover. So you'll see a Michael Whelan cover on the preview, which is just awesome.
There is quite the discussion going on in Discord about firearms on Mars in Barsum.
Oh, really?
Pistols cool. Particularly because there's been a lot of, I think a lot of the guys have noticed. I think the only mention of pistols in there may have been once, but didn't he carry a pistol from the Earth? I was thinking.
No, he doesn't, because he shows up naked. I remember he's just bouncing around naked.
I just read those.
Naked. Yeah, I thought they used pistols quite a bit, but I could be wrong.
Well, I thought that too, but then I started thinking back about it. And I remember all the time it being about the radium rifles and all that, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I will start rereading in January. I'm going to read all. I haven't read all books in a row in many years, but
they're still pretty good.
I've never read them in a row, right? I've only read them as they came out. Well, not as they came out, but as I could get them back in the 70s and whatnot. Yeah. But I never bought like all 11 of them and sat down and read them one after the other.
I enjoyed it. I was worried they would be super dated, but they weren't. It was good.
No, I think Burroughs, there's a little bit of his stuff that, it might make you wince a little bit, but by and large, it's just adventure writing and killing. And
lots of killing. Lots of killing.
lots and lots of killing.
Yeah, not the planet to be, non pacifist on. That's for sure. Because that's like a big part.
Yeah.
That's a big part of culture. All the cultures, even like the apes, everything revolves around this whole hierarchy of battle. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, Davis pointed out while he was reading the Princess of Mars, he said, they don't do anything in these societies. They don't make anything. Everything's automated. The food's automated. Everything's automated. And I wrote it back and said, well, that's why they fight all the time. That's all they do is it's just fight because they have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. Barsum, that cover is one of my favorites with John Carter holding Thoris. The colors on that, the temple that they're in is just fantastic. Yeah. I actually like the Gods of Mars cover better by Whelan. It's the mostly blue, and you'll see John Carter and Tars Tarkas leaning against this huge rock, and they're fighting the not the white apes, but those blue, whatever, one-eyed creatures.
Yeah.
That's my favorite cover. I don't know why. When I was a kid, that was something else.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, Juan Cholo says the Barzumians used radium rifles and pistols, although they focus on rifles and swords. And he's right. That's the throw off. They have swords like always. They have a sword.
Yes, yeah. And it's just, the whole thing, the flyers, cool. Yeah, it's just very, very cool. I would have thought, just out of memory, that they use pistols a lot, but I guess not. It's been a long time since I read all of them.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of neat if they don't. I love the fact that it's got a little bit of a change to it,
Yeah, Varsuk, the Thuvia Made of Mars was a fantastic cover. And that's one of the things I like about Whelan's, both his Barsum covers and his Elric of Melnibone covers.
Yeah.
The colors are so vibrant. Like there's lots of greens in the first of the Elric books. Green, and he's white. I think he's standing on a black throne or statue or something.
Yeah.
But the colors are so vibrant that they just leap off the page and they create this, I don't know. But Michael Whelan to me is the master of all of it. If you were to ask me for Zeta, Boris, Whelan, all of these old school guys, Whelan is going to be the guy I like the most.
Yeah. Jeremy says they have radium pistols and radium rifles. The radium rifles in particular can hit a target hundreds of miles away. Apparently, owing to the marksmanship of the green men, the quality of their scope, the thinness of the atmosphere, and the energy of the bolt. Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is so cool. I love the sheer violence of Barsum. I just love it.
If you think about it, when he landed, the first thing he did was he got put to ride a passage or whatever. He had to fight.
It's just so cool. It's just very, very cool. Yes, Tyler, you are 100% right. Those Whelan covers are amazing. And for those of you who don't know, just go type in Michael Whelan, Whelan, and type Elric and Barsum. After that, a whole slew of covers are going to come up, and it's some of the best art you're ever going to see. It's just really good stuff. Good stuff. And it captures it, too, because Barsum is, when I was a kid, and even now when I think about it, I don't think of it like our own world where there's just stuff. Look behind me, where there's just stuff everywhere. I see Barsum as this kind of clean, almost linear lifestyle of a world. I don't know. It's just it's very clean in my head. Always was, always has been.
Right.
Tarzan, not so much. Tarzan, Burroughs, his other great creation. Tarzan, it's the jungle, it's roots and darkness and all this other stuff. But in Barsum, it's like, I don't know. It's clean living, man. Something like that.
No, it is good stuff. It's good stuff. Those you were talking about those blue things earlier. Those things are terrifying, man.
Yeah.
When they first go down that valley, and they're thinking, "Oh, where are the gods?" or whatever. And these things.
And that's cool about Barsum, because when we were reading it, there's nothing like this. Well, I didn't know what was going on. This stuff was crazy. We don't need to worry about balancing that. King Gothard and Jeremy, we'll get it in there. Balance isn't my. This isn't the greatest concern. Barsuk, enjoy your dinner. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I don't know it. Granted, they've got the whole gravity thing, so you can balance them that way. But let's face it, in the books, he wasn't balanced. He kicked everybody's ass.
And I really don't want. I want the RPG is not going to be focused on Earth, man. That's going to be an option, obviously, but it's not going to be. We're going to play 5 Earth people that come over and blah blah blah. The focus is going to be on the culture and world of Barsum, the red man, the yellow man, the white man, the black man, whatever it is, and the who? What is Tars Tarkas' group called? The Warhoons or the evil?
Yeah, they're the bad guys. Warhoons were. They were.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But so, and we'll even allow that playing too. So that's kind of what our focus is going to be.
Well, and I just got to think about something when Jeremy was talking about, who would want to play an Earthman. But here's the thing. You take John Carter, let's just assume he never was in the military. He was a farmer. How would that have worked out then?
Yeah, there you go.
No skill, no battle skills whatsoever. What's he going to do? You know what I mean? I mean, he might be able to fight back.
That's a good point, because John Carter is a very skilled combat. Yeah, so he can sword fight expert marksman, as all of Burroughs' heroes are. Right. That's very, very interesting. John needed to chip Deja Thor so he could track her down. She kept getting carried off. Yes, indeed. Deja Thoris and Jane. And the cool thing about Deja Thoris is she wasn't weak, though. I mean, she fought alongside him. I don't know. She was just one battle harder.
She was.
Princess,
for sure.
The Princess of Mars.
Omega Gambit's got a question. He says, in the 1974 Warriors of Mars TSR book, there was a combat table on page 16 that put John Carter at level 13 and all females at level 1, with green females reaching a maximum of level 5. Is the TLV version planning to be limits on gender? Lord, no.
God, no. I never I'm a huge AD&D hound. I never used those goofy charts. I don't know where they came from.
I'm sorry, you're a halfling. Level 3 for you, buddy.
It's just the dwarf could only get to like 8th level fighter or something, and the female to 6th or something. I can't remember what it was. It was just nutty. No, there's going to be nothing. There's nothing like that in Castles and Crusades. There's, your dice determine what your strength is, not your gender. Your dice determine what your intelligence is, not your gender. Yeah. So it's all chance, or if the CK wants to give you a bunch of crap, they give you a bunch of crap. But they'll be done of that. She kills a lot of people. Yeah, she was not a third level person.
No.
I mean, my God.
She's killed quite a few.
She's murdered. There's a Freudian slip there.
Well,
She's murdered.
Hey, man. She was, and
well,
that chick was mean too.
If you are shooting someone that's 200 miles away, that's kind of borderline. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I get it. I totally get it. The kid's super strong, but I can't imagine being able to fight a sword fight or whatever. He might be able to hop around. He might be able to punch pretty good, but when it comes to like swords and guns and that kind of thing, I just wonder.
Yeah, so maybe there's your limiting factor, Jeremy. They have to roll what their human skill is. maybe they're
that would be interesting.
Plumber.
Plumber, shit.
So you're gonna show up. I can fix your pipes pretty easy, but whatever.
Right?
Plumbers are valuable.
That's not a bad idea to have some sort of an earthen background. That would be interesting.
But I really want the focus to not be on humans, which means we got to make the other ones badass too.
Well, I mean,
what we're going to do, Jeremy, just so you put your mind in the correct order, when you play a fighter in Castles and Crusades or in Amazing Adventures or whatever, you're the creme de la creme. So you're not just going to be an NPC red man. If you're going to play a red man and you're a fighter or whatever the classes we come up with, you're going to be the best of the best. So we can easily give, just like the elf and the dwarf and the whatever have skill A, B, and C, we can give the red, guys, they have these skills. So if you're playing a red man, you could do this. If you're playing an earthling, you can't do that. So there's certainly ways that we can make the other classes as appealing as an earthling.
Here, let me throw something out there at you. What if we just don't include Earth people?
Well, I mentioned that. Jason went absolutely batshit crazy. He's like, I don't know what's going to play together.
I'm just saying. I'm not even saying it's a good idea. I'm not even saying it's a good idea, but I'm just saying that should take care of that problem.
That would definitely. Well, that's part of the thing about the Earthmen and Barsum. It's sort of like when we were talking to the Burroughs folks, we seriously talked about a Tarzan role-playing game, but there's no real way to do that. If you're not playing Tarzan, who are you? The other guy that was raised by the apes? I mean, how many people?
Well, you can play the apes. I mean,
there. I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna throw a stick at this guy. I don't know, whatever. But whatever apes do when they're hanging out. But so some of the stuff just kind of devolves into unplayability. And you will not be able to play John Carter. You will not be able to play Deja Thor. That's not going to be. If you are, you got to do that on your own. You got to develop your own stuff. Billy Bob of the Apes, there you go. Flash Gordon RPG. Man, I never really watched that show as a kid. I always loved the colors of it. I need to go back and kind of revisit that stuff.
You should watch the movie again. I'm sure it's aged well.
I'm sure it has. I saw a clip of it the other day, ironically enough.
Oh God! Here, you ain't taking the right pills.
Yeah. Then there was the nefarious Flesh Gordon that we're not going to do a role
We're
play.
not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Alan has a question. He says, you guys have just reminded of a rule situation I have at my table. One player has a gnome character who wants to use large mace doing D10 damage. Seems excessive for a gnome to me. What is a gnome? 3 feet? Yeah, I two-handed maybe. They could use it two-handed. I might allow that.
Gnomes are excessive.
Gnomes are excessive. Davis would much appreciate that Tyrannus Rex. Yeah, Alan, I might let him use it two-handed because I think that mace is 3 feet or something, and yeah, that definitely minimally two-handed. Probably give them a strength too. They got to have like strength of 16.
Seriously lazy in my days of CKing. I wouldn't even care about that. I'd be like, okay. I've gotten so lazy. About it. Let's see. George says the Flash Gordon cartoon from the late 70s, early 80s is amazing. Oh, nice. Okay. Well,
I don't think I've ever watched it. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah. I'm sure it's on one of these channels out here.
What are we watching now? Kat and I started watching something that was really good. Oh. Is it? Not Kurt Russell. Son of a bitch. Who is that other actor? He's
Owen Wilson? I don't know.
The Baker Boys. He's in the Baker Boys. Two brothers, Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges, we started watching his The Old Man. Very, very good show.
Good? Is it good? I was wondering about that.
I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And season 2 of not the canister. What the hell is that damn thing called? Where they live in a tube under the ground.
Oh, the silo. You talking about the silo?
The silo, yes.
Don't tell me. Don't say nothing. Say nothing.
Yeah,
I've not watched it yet.
I watched the first episode of season 2. It's fantastic. It's awesome.
And that's a good series. Tonight we go back to Aliens. We go to the prison. Aliens 3.
Nice. So is she enjoying all of the alien stuff?
In fact, to be honest with you, I found Aliens 2 to be almost a little more cheesier than the 1. I mean, even though it was newer. I mean, but you can't, that dude, what's his name? The guy, game over. Oh my God, we were laughing our asses off. He is such a Debbie Downer, that whole movie. It's like, dude, just shut the hell up.
Until the very end, he's got a great death scene. So there you go.
He does. She's enjoyed it though. It's been good. I don't know what to do after Aliens 3 because I don't know. I think we're just going to watch the Predators without the alien stuff and then move on.
Yeah, it gets all jumbled as hell at that point. But you watched watched the prequels, right?
I've watched them in order. We've watched everything in order so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Ramos was great. I felt like Ramos was almost like a tribute to Aliens because there's so much, but it's still good though.
It's very good.
Other than the fact that I told her last night, I said if I have to watch another one of these movies, I've forgotten how stupid everybody is. They're fucking stupid. Why would the 20-year-old kid get on a derelict space? I didn't want to go. Anyway.
Well, one of my favorite thing in the zombie movies, all of it, you could stop the zombies horde with those Civil War, what do they call it? An abatis, I think is what it's called, where you just put X's with spikes on it, and the zombie can't get
through. They're just out there.
They're just stabbing themselves all day. Can't move it.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, Juan. Alien was a horror movie. Aliens was an action movie. Absolutely correct. Because there wasn't even scary moments. Well, there was one scene in Alien last night that got me. I can't remember what it was. It surprised the shit out of me. I'd forgotten about it, but it wasn't really not that big a deal. It just kind of popped out, kind of thing.
Alien, I think, if you put it in its temporal context, coming out in 81, 80, 79, when you're in a theater watching and no one had any idea what was going on. I mean, this was brand new, the creature exploding out of the chest, the eggs, all of this stuff. So it's something else, I think, back in the 80s.
Interesting story. So the guy who wrote Dark Star, also wrote the Alien script, right? And I was reading up on him. Did you know after Dark Star came and went, he ended up being homeless and broken?
I didn't know he was homeless, but I knew he had a lot of financial problems.
Yeah, and then he finally got them to go in on that, and then that changed everything, of course.
Yeah, he wrote the script for Alien. Did he write Aliens too?
I don't think so. No.
I think he wrote the script for Alien. Yeah, and Alien is one of the best movies, I've ever watched. I didn't watch it.
You go back and watch it. It smells of Dark Star. I was just like, oh my God. She was like, is this going to be like that again? I was like, no. Because I've still got it up there on the screen where it says continue watching Dark Star. And she's like,
Did she ever finish Dark Star?
No. She won't even if I joke her at it. If I joke about it, she gets pissed. She's like, "We're not watching that." I said, "Okay."
Just tell her it's in the Alien franchise, and then just turn it on and see.
I told her it was a comedy, and she said it's not even funny. I was like, "Honey." Anyway, yeah, obligatory.
We have any other questions pop up?
No, sir. I think we're good.
Good deal. That's funny. So Bill Paxton
Cameron was Oh, that was a fun thing Alan said. Bill Paxton, as far as he knows, he's the only actor to have a character killed by Alien, a Predator, and a Terminator. That's wild.
That could be. There is another actor. Someone needs to check me up on this. So in Alien, he plays the android. That actor. Is that guy in the original Terminator movie as one of the cops? I want to say he is, but I could be. I could easily be on crack. But Dan O'Bannon is a screenwriter. He's a screenwriter who wrote and directed Dark Star, and he wrote
Alien.
Yes, he is, Stephen. Okay, so Lance Henderson, Hendrickson. So is he also in? So he's in Terminator and he's in Alien. Did he appear in any of the Predator movies? That would be. So he may be right up there with Bill Paxton.
Okay.
Or is it Ian Holm? I don't know. I don't know. It's Lance Hendrickson's who I'm thinking of. That I think is in all of those movies, and I don't know why I think that now. That just kind of. He plays Bishop in Aliens. He was in Aliens. He got killed by Predator. That's it. That's it, Malaki. I watched AVP about a month ago, or pieces of it, and I thought, wait a minute, is that guy that's in both of those movies? So there's two of them. There's Alan. There's two stars in both of them. Glad you said that because that kind of shook my brain pan loose. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do the Alien versus Predator ones. I think I'm going to just leave all the Alien Predator stuff out and then just do the Predator purity movies. You know what I mean? I did like the one Predator movie where they go, well, yet again, I think that's a planet where they capture people and drop them off to hunt them. That's what that is. Yeah.
That's good. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie, yeah.
If you watch, I'm with you on that, Chuck. If you watch the original Predator and the Predator when they were in L.A. with Bill Paxton,
I love that.
And then that Predator movie, they're really great movies. Then there's another Predator movie that came out a few years ago. There's this band of mercenaries. I can't remember what the hell it's called. But the Predator versus Alien movies they're okay. Whatever.
Yeah, they're okay.
Whatever.
It's kind of an overdue thing, but I get it. IP makes some money. I get it.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm always happy when people in Hollywood get to act because they get a paycheck, and I'm very happy for them. So, I know it's a tough gig out there.
Yeah, Prey. That's the one that I watched recently. It's got the, Prey. That's the one I watched a while back. It's new. Yeah.
Predator 2, really, I agree, Willie. Predator 2 is an underappreciated movie. It's
really
good.
I love it.
Yeah.
With the whole Voodoo Willie shit and all that.
Yeah.
It cracks me up.
Yeah, that's really cool. Bill Paxton's character is really cool, and it's just cops trying to figure out who's doing these weird murders. Yeah. It turns out it's an alien. Maybe it comes from the ocean, as we have learned recently that our own aliens are coming from the ocean and they're Tic Tacs and whatnot.
We do have one last question for the stream. Who played Carl Weathers' biceps in Predator? If you know the answer.
That I do not know. Was that not Carl Weathers?
Well, they have taken on a life of their own. Anyway.
Yes, indeed.
That guy.
This Gary Busey, absolutely. Danny DeVito.
Oh my God, Danny DeVito. We started watching Always Sunny again.
I love that.
I had to take a break for a little while, and then I'm back on it again. I'm actually literally. This is what we're doing right now. We're watching the Alien movies, and around that, we're watching Always Sunny. We're watching what is it with Sheldon? What is that show called?
Young Sheldon?
No, the older Sheldon, the regular one.
Oh, Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, and on top of that, we're watching Tulsa King, and the Penguin. So I'm kind of.
So you're just all
moving around. Well, that damn Penguin. Have you seen the Penguin? My God, it's good. My God, it's good.
I've watched the guy who's playing the Penguin. I've seen him playing the Penguin, so I assume that's no. Was he in Gotham? Was there a show called Gotham?
Yeah, but he wasn't. This is the guy that's playing the Penguin is what's his name? Regular actor. What is his name? I just showed you.
Okay, yeah, I'll need to check it out.
It's fantastic.
I'll let you.
I give it 1,000%.
Jeremy says I
Sheldon.
don't watch anything. There's some really good TV out there. There's some really, really good TV out there.
Yeah, watch Silo, Jeremy. That's some good shit.
Silo is one of the best post-apocalyptic TV shows I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah. I've been holding off. I seen it on the little notification. I'm just like, no, not yet.
Silo, yes, not Salo. Silo.
Look at his question marks.
Was it SILO or whatever? Already running Troller Games at Gary Con. Excellent. Yes, Willie, I have watched What We Do in the Shadows. It's a hilarious show. I'll watch most of anything so long as I'm not being kind of preached to about some whatever. I don't care whatever it is. I don't want. I just want,
And
I just want good old violence.
Let me preach to everybody. If you are running stuff, any of our products at Gary Con or any other con for that matter, please reach out to us there at that email. Please, because I really want to get you guys involved and support you however we can. Of course, I don't know what's happening there. Dark Star now we have on the film. I'm not.
Yeah. So I was using the natural light of the sun, and I see now the problem with that. As the sun sets, the light is going away. So I'm just in this. I think the light you see is actually the camera light. So when I turn
it's
on
definitely
Davis,
gotten dark there quickly. Good God.
Yeah, absolutely. But Davis has one of these damn touchpad lamp things. I swear to God. So just a button. God, give me a button.
Yeah, we're hoping to have a lot of amazing adventures this year at Gary Con. I'm excited about it. At least when I say a lot, I
Holy
see
shit!
some,
Did you see? Has anyone out there seen Grace's commercial for Amazing Adventures? Did you watch it, Chuck?
I've not seen
Okay, first off, the commercial is fantastic. I put the video up in the team chat. The commercial is fantastic. We'll get it out tomorrow. It's gonna go before some YouTubers' channel. But in it, when you watch it, Grace is going to do. She does this kind of pitch on this, and then a pitch on this, and then she says, "Okay, this is what we're doing," and she pitches this adventure. That sounds badass. I told her, I said, dude, we got to run that adventure. That adventure sounds very cool.
I'll have to go look and see.
Yeah, go back in the team chat and you can scroll up. You'll see the video. I plopped it in there.
I didn't even see it in my darkness. I've hardly paid attention to that channel in weeks anyway.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're doing it because
it's a lot of weird questions that I ask the group. Oh, how do you handle this? Like the secret door thing today or whatever.
Yeah, well, there's a bolt on it. They got to have some kind of wire or something. I mean,
I guess, I don't know.
That's pretty funny you asked that.
Abbott, Costello, Meet the Predator. Excellent.
Right.
We need more. Yeah, it's about time to wrap up. I got to find some dinner. And I don't know. I think I'm interviewing my mom again tonight. That'll be a lot of fun.
I didn't know you had been interviewing her. What?
I'm interviewing my mom and recording it and just getting stories of the 1940s and 50s,
really?
growing up in Arkansas, and it is fascinating. It's just nuts. And I was talking about this on the stream last night. She lived in a small town called Monticello and another smaller town called Green Hill, and she talks about these characters that lived in the 40s and 50s that just are astounding, that I want to put in a book. There was Miss McDougal last night, and Miss McDougal is weird. Mom doesn't remember her being married or having any children, but Miss McDougal owned the two theaters and a drive-through, and she had this hunchback guy that followed her around everywhere and did stuff for her, whatever she needed done, he did, and she kind of controlled the town, it sounds like, for a little while. So there's the Hogue brothers, there's the Penny Jack, I think his name, or Penny Jack, I think it is. She told me about tonight. She's going to talk about Ramblin' Rose. So there's all these crazy characters that my mom grew up with that I want recorded, and then plus her life growing up in the 40s and 50s and whatnot. Just love that.
Cool, man. That's great. I used to, when I was in high school, one of the projects I did in high school was because I was actually doing some advanced credit courses in college for history.
Yeah.
And I interviewed my grandmother because she told me they came here. They'd arrived here on a covered wagon. Typically, you hear that out west, not east. And what had happened?
Right.
What had happened was they had actually was working on a farm, and her father had bought the farm from the guy, and all this nonsense right when Wall Street and all that collapsed, and he sold him something he didn't own.
Oh wow!
And then the bank came
interesting.
the bank came with people with guns and stuff and threw them off the land. my great grandfather had to go get a wagon, and they had to move east on the wagon, which was rather
That's crazy. Yeah, we're not that far removed from those days. I mean, Mom was using an outhouse for years and years,
right.
and that's not very long ago.
Oddly enough, they lived out near Arkansas or Missouri in that farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. They had to cross the Mississippi going east, which was kind of wild.
That's funny.
Anyways, yeah, good stuff. All right, well, listen, I guess we'll get out of here. Want to thank everybody for coming out and seeing us. I'll be back in the morning. I'll have my stream up in the morning, jabbering and carrying on. If you want to come by and see us, that'll be at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. Just want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. We'll be back on streams even more as we get things back together here again. I'm looking forward to the Christmas season coming up. We got lots of cool stuff coming out from us. I'm very excited about the next 3-4 months. Lots of good stuff coming down the pipe.
Yep, good stuff. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming out, and I'm definitely going to watch My Dinner with Predator.
Quick and the Predator.
Dude, I'm there. My dinner with Andre was interesting enough. My dinner with the Predator would be even better. You all have a great rest of your week and a fantastic evening, and we will see you tomorrow and or